by you getting that training. So automatically they see you as a first pick in the jobs that they offer. Jobs you can get from that: network security engineer, firewall administrator, and so on and so forth. There's also the CompSci CISA, focuses on behavior analysis, threat detection, can be used for threat hunting, potential jobs there: SOC analyst, threat intelligence analyst as well. And then for the advanced level, there's a CISSP, Certified Information Security Professional. It's the gold standard. This is, as you can see, it says advanced level. So this is not something that you rush into, except you've come a long way, you've been learning and training, and you feel like you want to go to the next level. Um, this is where you need to go to. So it's the gold standard for experienced professionals. Entails designing, managing security programs, security job security architect. You remember earlier we mentioned the role of the chief information security officer. If you're looking at getting into such a leadership role, then the CISSP is something that you want to take a very serious look at. Consultant CISM, Certified Information Security Manager, um, essentially deals with governance, risk management, compliance. And I think with most of the, something I want to mention is that oftentimes when people see cybersecurity, yes, it's a lot of hands-on work. There's some coding in there, but there's a sector in cybersecurity that is a bit easier. I don't want to use the word easier because nothing is easy. But when you look at GRC, governance, risks, and compliance, there's a whole lot of easy chewable there for you. Like it's more like documentation. You're preparing document, preparing policies, preparing SOPs, standard operating procedures. You're checking to make sure the company is doing things right. There is not a lot of coding in GRC. So for those of you who are not big on coding, who are not big on writing scripts, governance, risk, and compliance is a sweet spot for you. So I'm going to encourage you, if you are not big on coding and languages, Python, Java, and all that, this is something you want to look at for the CISM area. It's mainly used for managing security teams and strategy. And you can get a job as an information security manager or as a governance, risk, and compliance analyst or associate. And then finally, we have the lead OSCP, Offensive Security Certified Professional. This is where it gets really, really serious. When hacking is done, when there's a bad actor penetrating the system, these are the big boys that they call to come fight back. So essentially, it's hands-on hacking. You're doing red team. You're doing advanced pen testing. You're really going in there to see what's going on. Which of our resources have these hackers been able to take from us? How do we get it back for them? And beyond you trying to say, okay, they've with organizations, there's usually various systems for various purposes. One system might be for staff information. Another system might be carrying information for financial records. Another information might be carrying something else, right? So with this role, the OSCP guy would say, okay, this hacker is coming from this IP address. What is their weakness? Right? How do I hack them at the same time that they're hacking us? Something very interesting that happened recently. I don't know if you guys saw, Coinbase. Coinbase, one of these crypto guys, they had a breach where I think is it 2 million or 20 million of customer data. Sorry, the 20 million was the value. So customer data was accessed, and the hackers told the Coinbase team that they need $20 million for them to release the information. And do you know what the Coinbase CEO did? The Coinbase CEO came online on Twitter and put a bounty of $20 million on the on the hackers. So this was just a very interesting playbook. Honestly, I'd never seen that before, where you're being hacked, there's a ransom being demanded, and instead of giving in, you come online to say that $20 million that is being asked of, you're putting a bounty on the head of the hackers. So it was a very, very for me it was a flawless approach. And just imagine yourself being a hacker, you're holding somebody to ransom, and all of a sudden the CEO has put a bounty on your head. So it was a very good thing, and I think that that's also another way to go about it. While your internal team is trying to get these guys out of your system, you're also offline trying to get people to track them down. So cybersecurity, just like we said earlier, it's a dynamic system with dynamic approaches. You have to work on the fly. You have to do things that don't scale most times. But at the end of the day, you want to protect your system. You want to push bad people out of your system. So potential jobs for this is ethical hacker, red team operator as well. So sample cybersecurity career paths. So IT support, providing IT support for businesses, security analyst, security engineer, and CISO. So starting from a very, very low level, going into an analyst level, going up to a security engineer where you're building the systems and software to protect data, then going all the way to the higher level, the chief information security officer. You can start as well on a part two as a software developer. This is also very important for some of you here who have some level of software development knowledge, right? If you are doing software development right now, there's all kinds of courses online that can help you easily transition into app security, right? And once you have the ground level knowledge, it's just a few more coding to learn. And I think that it could be very, very lucrative for you, especially tied into the remote work opportunities we spoke about. And from the app security level, you can also go into a cloud security architect as well. And then finally, as a student, still wrapping up your schooling. I mean, these days, some of our students start from university to learn most of these things. So a good path for you as a student will be from a student level, you go into security plus certifications, then you go into a SOC analyst, and then you go into threat hunting as well. So these are some various paths that you could potentially look at. Um, I'm going to share. I'm going to. I think that the team at Medulla already have my PDF, my slide. If not, I'll resend it to Ray and the team. And for those of you who want a copy of this, I'm sure Ray will be more than happy to provide that to you. So one of the things that I wanted to wrap up with was the mediums that you could use to gain some of this knowledge. So the platforms, the communities, and the tools. So for platform, one of the most popular platform anywhere on planet Earth is TryHackMe. So TryHackMe, very very easy for you to use. It is built around the system of capturing a flag, right? So essentially, in a virtual environment, there's a flag, just a normal flag is placed somewhere, of course, a virtual flag, and you have a series of tasks you have to perform. When you are successful, then you've captured the flag. Sort of like when you have the game the game they play, the popping game they play, with the paintball game they play. There's usually something kept somewhere. Two opposing teams are going that way, trying to kill each other, and the team that wins, gets to take the prize. So I think the same model was used on the TryHackMe platform, where there's a flag you have to capture. And during the process of trying to get that flag, you're building your knowledge, you're building your system, you're building your everything you're building. When you get there, you would see that you've actually grown. There's also Hack the Boss and Cybrary. Cybrary is a very popular platform. I have a couple of my friends who are tutors on the platform. It's also very good for learning. Communities that you can also take advantage of. There's the OWASP community. There's Reddit. I'm sure everybody here should know Reddit. Reddit is big on cybersecurity and every other thing as well. But it can be a very good place for you to gain knowledge, gain resources, make connections, get networks, see jobs for cybersecurity, and Discord channels. I want to believe there's a few of you on Discord that know Discord or on Discord. It's also a very good place for you to connect with communities. You learn a lot from Discord. People are always very helpful there. Discord, you get a lot of technical people on Discord, a lot of software guys on Discord. So if you don't have an account on Discord, you just go online and just type sign up or sign up Discord. The link comes up and you can just jump on it. Some of the tools we use in cybersecurity: Wireshark, BobSuit, Splunk, Metasploit. These are all a variety of tools used for various things. for anybody who and really the point here is not for you to go learn everything on go learn all these tools. It's just like they say, jack of all trade, master of none. You pick a tool, even if you have the intention to learn multiple tools. You can pick a tool, if it is Wireshark, want to monitor traffic or whatever. You pick a tool, spend at least 2 to 3 months on it, map out a timeline for your learning. Even an hour a day can really, really make you get to a very good level. So these are some of the tools that you can use to get started on your journey. Right. So essentially, there's really no need to wait. The team at Medulla, they have already started very well. They're doing a fantastic job, setting you on this path to take interest in cybersecurity. And I couldn't be more happier that Ray is leading the charge over at Medulla. So it's a very, very great thing, especially in our part of the world where the bad boys are now knowing that most of our bank systems are bad. Because I think that years ago when I was in Ghana, I don't know if it was GT Bank or one of these guys, that some hackers just went to the back end and they were viewing a couple of things. So it tells you that, and the truth of the matter is, even as advanced as we are in this day and age, trust me, most of these companies are still not doing the right thing, and there are various reasons for that. One, once a hacking happens, there's usually no obligation on them to even tell the public. Trust me, some of your data might be compromised, but you don't even know. The businesses in our part of the world, they wouldn't even bring it up. They'll just do an internal huddle, deal with it internally, and close it up. I mean, how many times have you heard a business say, "Oh, we were hacked in the past month. We had 100,000 Ghanaians, have their data exposed." But trust me, that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It's happening. But and also the regulations around it, right? Are they forced to report this? Are there fines that these businesses are threatened with? If these things are put in place, believe me, you'll be getting this information, because the bad guys, the bad actors, they know most of these systems are not secure. They know most of the systems are compromised, so they're going to put their head in there one way or the other. So just to wrap it up, there's no reason for you to wait. I believe that Ray and his team, they're putting together a very good cybersecurity course that they'll hopefully be rolling out in the near future. Cybersecurity is for everybody. Start small, stay curious, ask questions. I mean, I'm still on the path. I'm by no means an expert in this field. I'm still on the path to gaining more knowledge, gaining more skills, gaining more experience. So ask questions, explore your interest, build your skills daily, connect with mentors and communities. A very, very important thing that cuts across, that is very important, is being able to work on projects in cybersecurity. And most times when I give some of these lectures, I don't usually want to say so much. I usually want to encourage people to go online and do research, because research is part of the learning journey. Knowing how to search for information is a skill on its own. So when you go online and search for, micro cybersecurity projects or entry level cybersecurity projects I can get started on, you would see a lot of them. You can even start with reviewing case studies in cybersecurity, which is one of the areas that I love, because when you look at case studies, you see what was the neutral environment, you see what were the flaws, you see how did the bad actors get access to the system, and you see the remediations. What do we do to ensure this does not happen again, right? So I wrapped up with a quote from Abraham Lincoln. Says, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." It's a literal quote, because it's very understandable. If you want our systems to be secure, get your hands dirty, get involved in cybersecurity. And that is the end of my brief presentation. Ray,